Frank's love of music did not extend to a love of the mothers of invention. He tolerated them, merely to hear his music played. "The music I'm writing now is too complex and difficult for the band to play. I need to find new musicians, a different group of people who can read what I've written. I want to leave the band, and I'll have to find some way to tell them." Ian Underwood waited in my office to go out to eat. We ate at the country store, where Ian picked up the bill, a real treat. But once I'd related Frank's groans about the mothers, he became surprisingly exasperated and angry. He rattled off a tirade of his own. Did Frank not realize he was not the only dissatisfied mother? Did he not know they were all tired and fed up with his sour face each day at rehearsal? And how could they play their best when he spouted nothing but criticism and never offered praise? More fired up and angry than I'd ever seen him, Ian raced back to the house to confront Frank. But unusually, Frank was already in bed, so alone in the kitchen, Gail became his victim. "I hear Frank's planning on leaving the band." "Really?" she said in a tone of denial. "Tell him that with his attitude and the way he's been expressing himself lately, this band's going down the tube anyway. And if there's going to be anybody leaving, I'll see to it personally that he won't have any band left to leave. Personally." By the time he'd spat out his last words, he looked pale and shell-shocked. "Ian, are you sure about this?" "Dead sure." At rehearsal the next day, Ian learned that his onslaught would not bring about the hoped-for truce, but instead had backfired spectacularly. Frank informed the mothers that he'd made his decision. His future with the band would end as soon as they agreed a suitable date, and, he added emphatically, this decision was final. Apparently they were devastated. Motorhead, he vowed that on Saturday, during their gig in San Bernardino, he and the other guys would force a showdown. And so when the band returned on Sunday morning, and Frank and Ian entered the house together, laughing and joking, a rare occurrence in recent days, I stopped and stared. "We all agreed," Motorhead began, "that the mothers could not exist without Frank. That was our starting point. But then it got mighty heated, and Frank put up a real dogged resistance to all our complaints." "Frank made the point," Ian said, "that he could not compose effectively when he had to waste his time teaching the guys their parts. So I suggested, how about I take over rehearsals? I teach the guys the arrangements, and you join us when the guys are ready." And finally he agreed. The next day, after rehearsal, Frank dictated a long letter to each of the mothers. He reiterated that Ian would, in future, rehearse the band. He thanked them for their hard work and dedication over the past 4 years, and affirmed how much he looked forward to working with them in future. It was, word for word, an answer to Ian's accusations days before.